Hi, hello. Today is the 4th of Jan 2023, and after my first live yesterday, we actually moved. We traveled yesterday, and I'm in a different city. I'm in Pattaya in Thailand, in this beautiful location, in this property where, behind me is the infinity pool right outside the room. It's such a beautiful property. Um, Excellent for family. My children are absolutely loving it. They were in the pool most time of the day. They have like a theme park inside. The swimming pool has like sliding, two big slide, the water sliders, and it's a huge infinity pool. And there's a private access to the beach very close by from within the apartment. I think we really lucked out getting this apartment as a family trip in Pattaya. We are not running around looking at all the things. We really wanted this time to have this downtime and really last year we did the same thing. We got away from our house because house is a space which you're familiar with, and familiar things brings up familiar thoughts and familiar experiences. So if you want to break that pattern and create a new you, it is always a good idea to get away and figure out the new figure out, have some downtime to figure out what is it you want to, what is your next step, what is the next level you want to go in your life. And new space really allows the space for you, and that has been my intention, and that's what we've been doing now. So being in this beautiful space in this apartment gives me a lot of time, ability to have new thoughts and think about how I want to change my life for the better moving forward. So with my intention this year, intention is to come here online and do this live videos more consistently. I'm sticking to my promise, and I've just jumped online to be here live. So today, I what I want to talk to you. I want to introduce myself properly. Yesterday, I just uh, went on and just spoke whatever came to my head. So today, I kind of have a structure on what I want to speak about. So basically, I want to tell you why I started in a Peace Hub and what is it that I'm trying to do here, and why does it even matter? What is my how does what I do help the world is what I want to kind of elaborate on today. So, by the way, my name is Narmada Kumar, or Nam, and I am a spiritual entrepreneur. Obviously, I that's why I have this channel here, and I'm coming, jumping on and speaking. I'm the founder of Kaya Academy, which I've rebranded as Inner Peace Training Hub. So I should say I'm the founder of Inner Peace Training Hub now. So Inner Peace Training Hub, what I'm dedicated to do, my intention to do, and what I've been already doing with Kaya Academy, anyway, on a face-to-face kind of a situation, has been helping women, predominantly women. I've had male clients. I do have a kids yoga class that I take regularly, where my kids are constant students and all their friends enroll. But my main clientele have been women over the since 2013, when I graduated from my master's in yoga, where I became a master's degree in yoga, fully based on Kundalini yoga practice, but yoga philosophy for theory. So I help women who are predominantly suffering from autoimmune conditions, chronic fatigue, anxiety, and depression. So I help these women who are having these issues to learn and heal themselves by learning how to align their mind, body, and spirit. So the lessons I teach from it is based on the wisdom of 5,000-year-old yoga, and also modern the life coaching methods. The life coaching. I'm constantly learning, I'm constantly getting new certifications. So all along the way, after I started my inner work journey in terms of my quest for uh, figuring out or find overcoming my challenges and changing my pain and suffering into a lesson for me, was by learning psychology. Then I pursued Reiki. I did different courses in different types of meditation. Then I did my master's degree in yoga. And then after that, I've been learning so many different. I did Vipassana yoga. I did Vipassana meditation. Then I have done feminine energy embodiment on a big way in the last 2 years, and I'm consistently learning all like the Silva method, quantum jumping, neuroscience based on Joe Dispenza's teaching. Joe Dispenza's teaching and what I learned as my Kundalini yoga is very much the same. It's exactly the same. He brings in um, more information based on the students who actually do the meditation in his courses. He has data. He collects data and he's able to back up that, look, if you do this practice, you will see this shift in your nervous system, this shift in your brain waves. So he's able to show you proof. And I think that's a great thing that his contribution is towards this world of meditation, towards this world of personal development. So I've been learning Joe Dispenza's books, his courses as well. Although it's not new, it is putting a new spin, new perspective, a new way of teaching this whole science to be able to reach to more people who might be kind of skeptical towards yoga philosophy, or thinking that, it's probably based on a religion. They subscribe more to a model based on science, right? So I've been learning all of this. So of course my teaching includes all of that, and which is what I teach the women. So what happens when they come through my course is a process of first self knowledge at the intellectual level, understanding how is your body made of, what are the energies, what are the different constitutions, how are we connected to the society, how are we connected to ourselves, how are we connected to nature, and how should we make keep all these relationships in a positive aligned way, so that we are constantly healing and we are constantly up leveling instead of down leveling, right? Let me have a sip of water. Right. So they go through the self knowledge first, and then comes self awareness as a result of the combination of knowledge and also the practice of all the breath work we do, meditate, different types of meditation I teach, initiation of the chakras, and learning chakras in depth, understanding them from a yoga philosophy perspective, from a scientific perspective, and from an experiential learning perspective from the class. So as a result of that, huge self-awareness is the result. And as a combination of the self-knowledge and self-awareness comes a dramatic self empowerment, which you can never undo. Once you learn about yourself, once you have this access to your self awareness at a level, you cannot undo you're empowered for life. And this has a huge ripple effect on all areas of your life. Not only your health improves, your relationship with your family. Excuse me, I had a heavy lunch. Heavy lunch. Thai food is excellent, and we've been trying all different kinds of dishes. And we had a simple lunch today, but I had spent a lot of time in the swimming pool, and it's been a nice, relaxing day. So, coming back, self empowerment is the result of the course. So, when self empowerment comes, you're kind of empowered for life. You are more dedicated to your inner work, to your growth. Until which time, most of my clients, when they start, I have clients from who are all very highly educated women. For some reason, they gravitate, I like, magnetic towards people who are already very successful, very highly educated, and very successful in their own fields. But this inner knowledge, self knowledge, is not something that is learned, taught in college or in schools, right? That's why I had to go on my own journey to to learn, to go for this knowledge and learn all of these things. So they, all of them, I have doctors, engineers, IT professionals, scientists, I have business people, I have housewives, grandmothers. So from all women from all backgrounds, right? And what happens at the end of as a process, when they go through the process of learning, this is a huge positive attitude that can never be taken away from them, because they have clarity and a clear picture of who they are and how they are related, how they should relate themselves, not should, how, what is in nature's design of their relationship between themselves, their family, and their society, and also nature at large. So when you, once you understand what your alignment is, then the practice, then comes the challenge of keeping to the practice. So when I do the course, mostly it's in a group setting, and so women get to interact and understand that they are not alone, number one. Number two, it's such a positive group because everyone is in it for to grow, to develop. So there is such a positive energy field we create is compounded. It's so much more powerful that everybody supports each other, is feeding on each other, and also feeding the other person with their inspiration and with their journey, sharing their stories. So inspiring each other. So that also happens. So the accountability happens, and boom, we see the results. I've seen so many results. People from where they start to where they finish, they wonder why they haven't learned this earlier in their life, and they want more, they want to go to the next level and next level. And some of my students, after I finished my master's degree, I was teaching for 2 years, students who were doing master's degrees, some who came just for the sake of it, because they wanted some time pass and they wanted to go to a yoga center and learn something instead of doing nothing at home. But for some reason, when I did the course, a lot of them became teachers themselves. They felt so inspired and connected and had the transformation that they decided to become teachers themselves and pursue that as part as moving forward in their life. So this is what I do. And how does it help the women? Obvious. How does it help the world? I mean, if a woman is empowered, if a woman is transformed, you're transforming her entire family. And not only her entire family, it is 7 generations before her and after her. Generations before her are getting liberated. The more patterns, the more, in yoga we call it sanchita karma, where your in science it is genetic impressions, which is the patterns which has been handed down through the generations, which when she is growing, she's letting go of all these limiting beliefs and patterns which might have served her forefathers, her ancestors, but does not but did not make sense at some point. But for some reason, just out of habit, the families have a certain way of behaving, certain way of thinking, certain way of reacting, and that gets passed on, and the so that the suffering also gets passed on. So when one woman understands herself, develops self awareness and self empowerment, she's liberating the energy, the souls of 7 generations before her, and 7 generations after her. They are genetically up leveled, they are upgraded. They do not have to deal with the same problems that she has already liberated. They can go ahead and go to the next level of solving the more deeper, the next level problem. They don't have to be stuck in a circle, right? We are moving forward, this growth happening. So that's why I'm very dedicated. I'm committed to teaching women self knowledge, self awareness, so that they become self empowered. So this is what I do in short. probably not so short, but I also wanted to share with you my autoimmune disease journey. How is this related to what I do? It has everything to do with what I do, because my autoimmune disease was the first thing that first, and I probably, yeah, there's other things that happened after that, but it was the first and one of the in a way final thing that kind of shifted and pivoted my life once for all. When I was 30 years old, one day in college, I was a lecturer. I was teaching hospitality management and commercial cookery. I was in the afternoon after lunch. I'm taking a theory class for my students. Everyone's in the class, and I'm standing there on the board, starting to take my books out, my computer out to start my class for the afternoon, right? And I opened my mouth, and there's no sound coming. I couldn't. I could feel my. I couldn't. I wasn't feeling giddy, but I couldn't stand, and I couldn't talk. I felt like I'm trying to talk, but nothing's coming out, and I knew something was wrong. I went and sat down, and I realized I'm not able to move uh, easily. My movement is kind of restricted, and I actually got afraid. I got scared, and I drive 35 kilometers from my house to where my campus is. So I said, I'm calling off the class today. I jumped on my car and I managed to drive 35 kilometers back home, which is about like 50 minutes or something back home. And I got back home. I went and laid down. I called my husband and said, this is what's happening. I haven't had my children then. And I lied down in the bed. I came down with a fever, high fever. And when I woke up, I had high fever, and I found there was like kind of dark lesion kind of mark in my what I had already in my before, I had a scratch from putting an IKEA bookshelf together. There was a little piece of wood that went in, so that got inflamed a little bit. But that became like really big, and I had like more patches on my thigh, and I had high fever. And this was really freakish and weird, and like just out of nowhere, sudden. And I had fleet like joint pains, huge joint pain on my left knee. I couldn't get up and walk. I just laid down there till my husband came home. We had moved into our newly built house, so we were like up to here with our commitments with mortgage. And here I was feeling like this, and I couldn't go to work. So I said, I'm going to the hospital. I went to the not to the hospital, I went to the doctor. I went, and she said, oh, there's fever, there's some inflammation going. She gave me some fever tablets, painkillers, anti-inflammatories. So I'm taking this for 2 weeks, right? So, what's happening in 2 weeks? Nothing. My fever is persistent. My left knee pain has moved to my right knee, and there are days it's like it's moving from my right knee to my right ankle to my left ankle. It's like fleeting joint pains. Like I don't know when what joint is going to pain. Sometimes both the joints are paining. Sometimes it's fleeting. Fever is persistent, and there are more lesions like popping up around my body. And like I'm so like so worried, so scared, and having dark thoughts. Going to the doctor again, she's just giving me more antibiotics. So I'm having painkiller, antibiotics, anti-inflammatory. So this goes on for like 30 days. Meanwhile, her doctor sends me to the hospital to have more tests, more blood tests. She sends me to a orthopedic surgeon because my knees are aching, and they did MRI, and they looked at MRI and said, you have lots of do you play sports? I said, no, I don't play sports. I don't even watch sports in the TV. My husband and I are like opposite in that sense. He's like full on sportsman, and I'm like full on not into sports. So I um, wondered like how what's happening. But they said, oh, maybe we have to do arthroscopy to just clean up so your ligament tear comes together. So I don't know how that ligament tear happened, even if it was a ligament tear. But what about the lesions and fever and all that? So I'm going to see a physician as well. So I'm seeing orthopedic surgeon, physician, I'm seeing my GP. No change. This goes on for about 35 days. By this time, I'm kind of absolutely bedridden, slipping into deep depression because there is no caretaker. My husband has to go to work. I've stopped work. I'm not earning. And all of these pressures and the huge fear about what's going on without knowing, having a clear diagnosis, and feeling all depressed about this, I just decided to start saying goodbye, wondering, thinking of the worst thing, and picked up the phone and started saying goodbye to people back home, like my extended family and friends and so on. And everyone's like kind of shocked to get my call and hear me speak all of these things, like say these weird things. And they were scared, they were really scared and worried for me, and they said like, just come over, we let's go, let's look at my grandmother. Was that time my dad was alive, but was not in a position to care for me, he's handicapped. So, but he's very worried, and he's saying like, you come down and stay in grandmother's places. My mom's no more, was my mom's mother's house. So I come to, I go back home to India in a wheelchair. My husband's heart was broken to send me alone on a wheelchair to India, because it wasn't, we are not in a position to drop everything and come to India with me. Plus, if you go on a wheelchair, they do take care of you. I had someone to come and pick me up there, and flying, I would be moved in a wheelchair. But for me to, someone who was working till a month back and being so independent, driving up and down and doing everything by myself on my feet, to not be able to walk and to travel on a wheelchair in such a short span of time was, I thought this is the end of my life. And that was the state of despondency that I found myself, that I was willing to do anything to heal. And I went to India again. I saw allopathy for 2 more months, and they gave me, they said, we have to put you on antidepressant medicine while we are treating you and figuring out what's wrong with you. And it got me nowhere. They did biopsy, more tests over and above what I'd already done in Australia. They didn't find anything clear to give me a proper diagnosis. So they said, we need to try with steroids to see, all these lesions to stop. And that's when my husband said, maybe some one of her family friends, and maybe it's not a good idea to jump and take steroids and take antidepressant. Why doesn't she go and see this yoga expert who has healed me? He had experience with him. So it came out of a recommendation out of a personal experience. So I put faith in this friend's experience. I always found him as a very wise person. So I, against my extended family who were taking care of me at that time, who did not believe, like to go to a yoga expert when we are doing all of these things, going to a hospital. But I was desperate. I was also had huge faith on the recommendation of this friend. So I went to this yoga expert, and you know what he did? He checked my pulse, he checked my ankle, like he just looked at me and he just checked my pulse, and that's it. He didn't do anything else. And he said, your literally your blood is like, you've turned it into poison. And then I didn't understand, like, what are you talking about? You haven't done a blood test. But I just kept quiet and listened to what he was saying. He said, you need to drop all your medications. By then I was taking like 9 tablets in one meal kind of situation. He said, you need to drop all your medicines cold turkey tomorrow. And that really freaked out my uncle who was taking care of me. And because they were like, how can you stop that? But I'm an adult and I went to see this person. I said, I'm going to do whatever he tells me to do. And so I stopped all my medication cold turkey. He put me on a full, no, not even water fast for the first 24 hours. After that, I drank water. After that, about 8 days of juice fasting, and supplemented with some Ayurvedic. He gave me some potions to boil and drink, and some, they call it, it's like a paste that you drink. Okay, another supplement. So when I was doing this, I'm like kind of detoxifying in all levels. Like I'm having my body, my fever stopped. The lesions started first becoming more bigger, more painful for the first 4 to 5 days, and then they started melting away. My huge, my the a lot of fat, like my body was kind of cleansing at such a rapid level that I'd go to the bathroom like I don't know how many times in a day. I'd feel tired and I'd call him and like, what is happening? He said like, have faith, just trust the process, take rest, don't have anything other than what I asked you to have, and do this. He gave me a set of asanas, which was, some yoga asanas to do, breath work to do, and rest, and have the juices that I tell you to do. I just did that, and within a period of 3 weeks, I had lost a lot of toxic excess weight. So because I didn't, the weight I lost, my skin started shining more. I was more looking more vibrant. I felt more energetic. I didn't feel weak. And he said no fruits, no cooked food kept in the fridge, nothing kept in the fridge. You need to buy stuff and eat fresh and all of these things. And he didn't have to say no more after a week or so, because I'm seeing rapid transformation within myself, and people are basically witnessing around me about what is happening, and they are all like becoming converts to this, whatever magic this man is putting me through. And they are literally saying I'm not doing any magic, I'm just having fresh food, fresh fruits and vegetables, I'm taking rest, I'm doing yoga, i'm doing I'm taking oil bath. Um, that's all, and I'm resting. And after 3 weeks, when I went and saw him, he was like, "Oh my God, what a transformation himself!" Because he said no other student of his followed him as much as I did. Because they are always negotiating with him, saying, "Can I eat a little bit of that, or can I eat a little bit of this?" And I guess when people are not suffering that much, it does make sense, because our taste and our palate is such a mm, uh, strong influence on us. It's so difficult to suddenly stop things. So, but I was in a space of extreme pain and suffering, so I was willing to do anything he asked me to do. So that was the reason I got the result, because I just followed whatever he said. I was being a good student. I was being good to myself. I wanted to heal, and I healed. And when I went back to for a chat with him, to meet with him, he said, "You know what? You lived, your life was so non-aligned with nature, and now for you to keep your health and improve your health moving forward, you need to find ways to live in a way that your life is aligned with nature." I have not heard this concept before in my life. No one has spoken about something like this, to think like this before, and it was something like bells were ringing for me. And I took this whole living aligned with nature seriously, and I started making changes in my life when I came back to Australia. So I started going to sleep at a decent time, sleep on time. I started buying more organic food, and I found at that point that I didn't know. Like I knew, okay, there are shops that sells organic food. Obviously, there are people who eat organic food, but it wasn't a big scene as it is right now. But I could find them. And then I realized, why not grow my own? And I that developed into a passion for gardening and growing fruit trees and growing vegetables in my veggie patch. And I just went full on into it. So I did all started eating clean, started meditating, started doing breath work and yogasana, and started wanting to learn all about this, and always having my antenna out as to how do I live aligned. I just became so obsessed with that basically. So I obsessed to understand everything about it, so I started learning one after the other, right? So I that was the huge reason, the huge situation in my life that changed me into inner work. So living aligned with nature is what inner work is all about, living according to the laws of that God universe has created, like law of attraction. What you think, you attract back. What you sow, you reap. The karma philosophy. And the so many, there is just a law of attraction is just one law that we are all familiar with, and most powerful law that everybody can relate to. But so many other things too in nature, there's so many, it's not secrets, it's quite apparent, but just because it's happening right within beneath us and we are not talking about it, we don't realize the amount of magic and miracles that are happening within our body and around us all the time. So learning about the how the human body and how we are relate how are the body is related to the nature, and the connection of nature to God, and who is God, and all of these questions were like so uh, interesting and consuming for me to learn. And that's where I found myself uh, joining my master's degree in yoga after I had my kids. I had overcame my infertility also when had my I had my treatment without doing yoga. It did not succeed, and just one shot that month when went for a yoga studio and did my practice, then went for my treatment. That very month, I fell pregnant with my kids. So that was even more confirmation over confirmation, increasing my conviction over this whole knowledge, this body of knowledge, and this practice by which I wanted to live. And that's why I went and did the course. And after I finished the course, I couldn't think of anything else but to teach this and to practice this and figure out a way how I can always live aligned with nature for the rest of my life. So that has been my story, and that is the reason for the my founding Inner Peace Training Hub, so that I'm able to inspire and empower people based on my own journey, because the person I was before I knew all of this was not had a lot of pain and suffering. And I can see I can see now that you go past one thing and you see the people who are suffering the same, having the same pain that you had, your heart goes out and somehow you just want to go and help them, right? But you can't just go and help them just based on, okay, you know what I've done, I've done this and I've overcome. Yes, they listen to you, but if you can learn it properly from a basis of learning the knowledge properly, and then teaching it from a space of both the knowledge, like intellectual knowledge and experiential knowledge, then you're able to give full circle for a person's journey, right, process. And that's what I've been doing, constantly investing in myself, in my own growth, so that I'm able to give from a space of overflowing energy to help other people as well, because that is the most fulfilling, satisfying thing than anything else. So I believe my purpose of my life is that all the pain and suffering I went through, right from facing right from the family accident where I lost my mom and my entire family life was shattered at the age of 10, and all the pain and suffering that came as a result of that. And then all the pain and suffering because of that in my physical, mental, emotional level, continuous pain after pain after pain. And I'm asking, like, why, God, why? What is the source of this? And then I got the answer. It was my way of chiseling myself to be the kind of person who's able to tell the story and help few more people. This is my purpose, and that's why I had to go through that journey. People who go through tough journey go through that for a particular reason, and when we are going through that, we could be in victimhood, kicking and crying. It is all, it's all part of the process, but it gives you the also the strength and the resilience to be the lighthouse for people around you and for people after you in your family as well. So that has been my story of my autoimmune disease, overcoming my autoimmune. Now it's been years. I kind of I you know what, I'm in my 40s now. I'm past my mid 40s now, and I think I look more vibrant, I feel more vibrant than in my 20s. That is because of all the inner work and spiritual knowledge that I've invested in. And I feel there's more youthfulness that I can feel now than I felt in my 20s. And that is because I didn't know about who I am and how to use my energy properly in my 20s. And now I know. Now I know when to rest. Now I know how to love myself. I know how I have awareness about my body, mind, and I know where to draw the boundaries. So all of these things really feeds your vitality, feeds your happiness, feeds your joy. And that's why I'm so dedicated to this work. I have been continuously teaching people in India, and then when I came back to Australia, I've been doing classes in the local council, and also I created a studio wherever. When I was in India, I have a beautiful studio and a beautiful studio in Melbourne. Since I moved to post COVID, I am have become this online entrepreneur where I feel I can have a lot more impact, reach a lot more people by building my social media, and that's exactly what I'm doing now. I'm on this embarking on this new journey. Everything happens for a reason, where I'm able to tell my story and share my knowledge and skills, and offer my services to a wider audience through this. So I have my school site now where I have recorded digital program of my level 1 course, where people who are suffering from autoimmune disease and chronic fatigue, anxiety and depression is the best place to start. You will have a huge transformation. I'm not saying this from one person, two-person. I have taught, I'm very humbly saying hundreds. I'm because I've been teaching for the last 10 years. I have taught in corporate companies, IT corporate companies, like in front of hundreds of people. Like I've taught batches of hundreds of people. So when I count all of that, it runs into 20s. But if I look at personal journey with a woman, like, in women's group, I'm sticking to hundreds. And because I'm going to focus not on corporate companies and, like, male, female, all. I'm focusing on women. And so i'm um I've seen so many women, brilliant, intelligent, successful professional women have huge transformations within a span of 1 month. And then when they go through the entire process, like 2 months of this heal and glow course alone changes the trajectory of their life massively. So I have my course as a digital lifetime access on my site right now, where anyone can buy and start practicing from today itself. So I have both my Heal and Glow course. It's a whole package where you learn the whole Kundalini practice and also learn about your mind, body, and spirit, and what alignment is, what chakra is, in a very easy to understand way, but in a very profound way. And all the practices are easy to practice with profound results. So I am planning in the new year to provide more accountability for practice by offering, packaging my course already, which is existing. You can go and buy it right now, packaging it with online support from myself as a live online course. Not the course is there. I will be available online live to answer questions and also go through practice sessions, make some corrections if need be, and also give you that, that support in your journey to of your transformation. So I'm looking forward to supporting you all. The dates for my live classes I'm going to decide, because not decide. I'm going to start in February, but the exact days I will be posting you soon. But the course is available for you to purchase straight away. I will put the link to the course in my description. You can buy it straight away and start learning the course. And you could send me email or WhatsApp to me your questions until I start the live classes. But I will be starting the live classes once I finish my travel from the from first week, from kind of the first midweek of February. I'll start offering my live classes. So there you can come and practice and ask me all the questions you have. And I will do the corrections as well if need be. And we can grow together and celebrate your massive transformation in the new year. So, thank you for watching. For all the people who will be watching this later, I am committed to come up here and share my story and my journey every day. And I will see you tomorrow then. You have a wonderful rest of the day. Bye.